My name is Liam, and if there's one thing I've learned after 19 years of marriage, it's that not everything is as it appears. People admire marriages from the outside. They see the family portraits, the anniversary celebrations, the grins at dinner parties, and they assume it's all built on love and faith. But what they don't grasp is that some marriages, far too many, are built on secrets and deceit. And the cruelest part? You don't see it coming until it's too late. I never doubted my marriage. Never suspected my wife, Clara, not once. I labored tirelessly, supported my family, and clung to the vows we'd sworn. But I was naive. If you're not vigilant, you might end up in a situation like mine. And I pray that when you unearth the truth, it doesn't shatter you the way it shattered me. I married Clara when I was 25, and she was 22. We were youthful, eager, and prepared to begin our life together. From the start, we agreed we wanted children early. Within 2 years, we had 2 sons. It wasn't effortless, but I was resolute to provide for them. I worked endless hours, even double shifts, to ensure they lacked nothing. In my mind, we were a partnership. She managed our home while I built our future. Others envied us, friends, neighbors, even acquaintances. I trusted their admiration. Why wouldn't I? Now, I see how deluded I was. As the years passed, our sons grew up and left for college. They rarely visited, even during holidays. It was just Clara and me. I didn't mind. This was our chance to reconnect. I'd also made a major career change, shifting from grueling overtime jobs to running my own business. I still worked hard, but with a team handling daily tasks, I was home more often. One Thursday morning, I woke with a splitting headache. I was supposed to meet distributors, a critical deal I'd negotiated for weeks. But the moment I tried to rise, pain exploded behind my eyes. I texted to reschedule and collapsed back into bed, pressing my temples. Clara took one glance and asked what was wrong. When I explained, she retrieved a small bottle from our medicine cabinet and poured me a dose. "Take this," she said, handing me water. "You just need rest." I swallowed the pills, wondering if she was right. I'd been pushing myself too hard. As I sat up, Clara gathered her purse. "I'm off for my spa day with the girls," she said. "Will you be okay?" I forced a smile. "Go enjoy yourself." She kissed my forehead and left. I heard the car engine roar, then silence. 20 minutes later, the pain eased. Deciding to be productive, I headed to the cluttered garage, a chaotic graveyard of unpacked boxes and forgotten junk. The dank smell of dust and cardboard hit me. "This'll take hours," I muttered. I had no idea my life was about to implode. I started with the largest boxes, old toys set aside for donation, mildewed books, novels, textbooks, fairy tales. Then, at the bottom of a bag, I found a faded leather journal, its edges yellowed, its cover weathered. I recognized it as Clara's, though I'd never seen it before. My fingers traced the creases. A journal holds private thoughts, secrets, but curiosity overpowered me. After 19 years, what harm could there be? I opened it. The first pages were innocent, reminiscent of our early marriage, our first home, weekend trips, mundane joys. She wrote about my long absences, how she ached when I was gone, a nostalgic glimpse of simpler times. Then the tone shifted, an entry about our first child. At first, ordinary. She described morning sickness, her pregnancy discovery. But then, I was confused when the test turned positive. We'd only been together a week, but I was already 3 weeks along. My breath stalled. She'd encouraged me to skip protection, pretending it was part of our plan. But the truth? She knew. The baby wasn't mine. The next page destroyed me. She'd contacted the real father. He agreed to her scheme to let me believe the child was mine. He'd vowed to reappear when the time was right. A betrayal. A lifetime of lies. Before I could even comprehend what was happening, I felt nauseous all over again. Remembering, I'd spent 19 years adoring a son I believed was mine. 19 years of parenthood built on deception. My reality whirled as I gasped for air. I needed to know if this was isolated. I scoured the pages, hunting for clues about our second child. And there it was. Clara had written about him too, but this time her words were different. She confessed he was mine. She'd been cautious this time, but that revelation didn't console me. If anything, it deepened the wound. She'd manipulated my life, choosing which truths I deserved to know. I couldn't endure it. The headache, which had subsided earlier, returned with a vengeance. My vision blurred. Without hesitation, I lurched to the living room and slammed the journal onto the table. I slumped onto the couch, glaring at the ceiling, struggling to process it all. My entire marriage was a sham, and I'd been too gullible, too devoted to notice. Hours later, I heard Clara's car roll into the driveway. I didn't recognize my own emotions, rage, bewilderment, heartbreak, all twisted together. She breezed in, chattering about the disarray in the garage, the overturned boxes. She didn't spot the journal at first, but the instant her eyes landed on it, her face drained of color. No denial was possible now. She knew. For a heartbeat, time froze, just us, locked in wordless horror. I couldn't untangle the storm inside me. Then, like a lifeless doll, she collapsed to the floor. I sprinted to her, splashing cold water on her face, begging her to wake up. She stirred groggy, her eyelids fluttering. When she focused on me, the apologies gushed out, endless regrets, pleas for forgiveness. I stood mute. She rambled, unraveling her excuses. The real father of our first son was her ex. She'd been with him a month before our wedding. When she discovered the pregnancy, she seized the chance to bury the truth. She'd exploited my love, my trust, to shield her lies. 19 years. I'd raised another man's child, and she'd been certain I'd never uncover it. The days that followed were hollow. I functioned like a ghost, waking, working, avoiding the woman I'd shared my life with. I drowned myself in work, leaving at dawn, returning at midnight. Silence was easier than words. Meanwhile, Clara scrambled to repair the ruin she'd made. She became excessively sweet, obsessively attentive, as if miraculously recalling how to be the ideal wife. After a month of coexisting like strangers, I acknowledged the truth. Our trust was obliterated. Without it, our marriage was a corpse. I told her I wanted a divorce, that I needed peace. But instead of accepting it, she snapped. She refused to leave with nothing after sacrificing her best years. She demanded half of everything, my business, our home, our savings. She threatened to battle me in court. That was the final betrayal. You lied for 19 years, made me raise another man's child, and now you want to rob me too? I hired a private investigator. Within weeks, the PI uncovered proof. Clara had secretly stayed in touch with the boy's real father the entire time. I ordered DNA tests for both sons. The results confirmed it. Only the younger one was mine. We live in Florida, and I wasn't surrendering without a fight. With the PI's evidence, the DNA report, and Clara's own damning journal, I armed myself for the war ahead. I took Clara to court for paternity fraud, and this time justice sided with me. The judge ordered her to compensate me for the years of deception and emotional torment she'd put me through. Clara left the courtroom with next to nothing. The small settlement from our divorce vanished into her legal fees, and she still owed me part of what the court ruled she must pay. Now she's pleading for extensions, claiming she needs more time. All I ever did was devote myself to her, break my back for our family, and trust her unconditionally. She took advantage of every bit of it. Even after discovering the truth about my eldest son, I couldn't just turn off 19 years of love. In every way that counted, I was his father, not some stranger sharing his home, but the man he looked to and relied on. When he learned about Clara's betrayal, it destroyed him too. His pain wasn't about DNA. It was his entire understanding of family collapsing. He couldn't comprehend how his own mother could carefully construct such a monstrous lie. My younger son, the one confirmed to be mine, pulled away from her as well. In the end, Clara lost it all. No husband, no money. Whatever she gained in court disappeared into legal debts. And worst of all, no respect from her children. She bet everything on her lies. But the truth burns through secrets buried too long. I've thought endlessly about this. When Clara realized I'd found her journal, she wept, painting herself as a confused young woman who didn't grasp the weight of her choices. I'd planned to end things quietly. No public spectacle. No tarnishing the boys' image of their mother. After 2 decades together, even a sham marriage held meaning for me. But the moment she sensed I was resolute, her regret twisted into greed. Apologies became demands. Half our assets. A drawn-out court fight. She acted as if I had betrayed her. That cut deeper than the lies. She wasn't remorseful, just furious she'd been caught. Her selfishness ruined her. Now, she's swamped in debt, forced to repay me for years of fraud. This could have ended with grace, but she chose cruelty and it left her with nothing. Here's what this nightmare taught me. Marry carefully. Don't choose for passion or temporary happiness. Study their soul. How do they face hard truths? Pressure? Consequences? Ignore this, and you'll pay for it later. Lies fade. Truth always emerges. For 19 years, I lived a fantasy until a forgotten journal exposed it. If you're hiding something, don't delude yourself. If your instincts scream, hear them. Love doesn't cancel betrayal. I idolized Clara, gave her my youth, faith, everything. But love can't mend deliberate wounds. Don't let it trap you in pain. Forgiving isn't staying. I forgave Clara for my sake, not hers. But leaving was my salvation. Sometimes walking away is the only way to breathe again. This is my life. I hope no one suffers as I did. But if you're stuck in a similar hell, remember, protect your peace more than your pride. Truth always wins. You merit better than lies disguised as love. So I ask you, what would you have done? Stayed and patched the ruins? Or walked away like I did? Thank you for hearing me. If this strikes a chord, if you endured the same or seek wisdom and love, I hope it spared you grief or made you feel less alone.